You know, every once in a while, a single letter comes along that manages to capture a whole lifetime of wisdom. Well, Warren Buffett just penned what really feels like his final major message to shareholders. And wow, it is an absolute masterclass on business, on life, on legacy. So let's dive right in.
And it all starts with these four simple words. After decades, and I mean decades, of writing Berkshire Hathaway's famous annual reports and holding court at those legendary meetings, Buffett is basically signing off. But before he goes, he has a few more things he really wants us to understand.
So, the big headline news, of course, is the official transition. Greg Abel is taking the helm. But this letter, it's about so much more than just a change in leadership. It's really about the enduring principles that built this incredible company in the first place. And the very first principle he talks about, it is absolutely nothing to do with picking stocks. Nope. It has to do with home. He calls it the Omaha effect, and it's a really powerful lesson in the importance of our roots. Okay, get this. What's so incredible when you look at this timeline is just how physically close all these crucial people were. I mean, back in the 30s and 40s, his future partner, the legendary Charlie Munger, lived just one block away and even worked at Buffett's grandfather's grocery store. Then, in the late 50s, a future president of Coca-Cola is living right across the street. And then, decades later, in the 90s, his hand-picked successor, Greg Abel, is living just a few blocks away. It's amazing. They were all connected by the streets of Omaha long before they were ever connected by the balance sheets of Berkshire.
So Buffett asks this question, and you can tell he's only half joking. He genuinely believes that being grounded, right there in the center of the country and far away from all the noise of Wall Street, gave him and his company a truly unique advantage.
So here's the bottom line. For Buffett, where you are shapes who you are and what you can build. Omaha wasn't just a place to live, it was a competitive advantage. And this whole idea of being grounded, well, it profoundly shaped his philosophy on wealth itself.
So after explaining where his success was built, Buffett turns to why he thinks it happened and what its ultimate purpose is. And his answer, well, it might surprise you. It all comes down to a single powerful force: luck.
And he is remarkably blunt about it. He sees his immense fortune not just as a product of skill, but as the result of winning what he famously calls the ovarian lottery, being born a white male in America in 1930. He flat out recognizes that this luck is wildly, unfairly distributed. And this number right here, it perfectly illustrates his philosophy in action. This is the number of B shares he just donated to his family's foundations. See, he's not just talking about luck, he's actively, right now, working to redistribute its rewards. So why speed up the giving now? Well, it's a mix of being pragmatic and philosophical. His kids are at the perfect age, what he calls their peak wisdom, to manage the whole thing. And as he puts it, Father Time is undefeated. He knows that trying to control things from beyond the grave is just a recipe for failure. Besides, they're ready. They've had years of practice, already giving away over $500 million every single year. Next up, he looks to the future of the company itself. And here he gives this incredibly strong endorsement of his successor, along with a pretty sharp critique of modern corporate culture. He's laying out a super clear vision for the kind of leadership Berkshire needs. His confidence in Greg Abel is just absolute, 100%. He doesn't just pass the torch. He shines a huge spotlight on Abel, making it crystal clear that he believes the company is in better hands than even his own for the challenges that are coming. And here he draws a really sharp contrast. He lays out the Berkshire way, being conscious of shareholders, focusing on the long-term responsibility, against what he sees as the wrong way. That's a culture driven by envy, by building dynasties, and what he calls the look at me rich, which is, of course, the total opposite of that humble, grounded Omaha way of life. This right here is his diagnosis for the absolute explosion in CEO pay. He argues that all those new disclosure rules, which were meant to create moderation, actually backfired because they just stoked envy. All the CEOs could suddenly see what their peers were making, and this crazy ratcheting up of pay just began. He also leaves one last, very candid piece of advice for his investors. Be prepared for volatility. He says the stock will take huge hits. It might even fall 50% sometimes. His message? Just don't panic. Have faith in the long-term resilience of both America and Berkshire. They will come back. All right, finally, Buffett zooms out from business and gets right to life itself. He offers his most personal advice, almost like a simple guide on how to live well and leave a legacy that truly, truly matters.
And he starts with this incredible story. Alfred Nobel, the inventor of dynamite, well, he reportedly read his own obituary by mistake after a newspaper mix-up, and it condemned him as a merchant of death. He was so horrified that he dedicated the rest of his life and his entire fortune to creating the Nobel Prizes.
So Buffett's advice is basically, don't wait for a newsroom mix-up. His guide is so simple, yet so profound. Step 1. Decide what you would like your own obituary to say. Step 2. Go live the life that deserves it. It's about consciously choosing your heroes, learning from mistakes without dwelling on them, and just grounding everything you do in the golden rule. And this might be the most powerful sentence in the entire letter. After building one of the world's largest fortunes, his final lesson isn't about investing. It's about humanity. It's about kindness. It costs nothing to give, and its value is infinite. And so he leaves all of us with the same question he posed to himself. It's a real challenge to think beyond our daily lives, beyond our careers, and to really consider the ultimate measure of our time here on Earth. It's a final, profound lesson from the Oracle of Omaha. So I'll just leave you with that. What will your obituary say?